4 words. That's all it took for Angelina to walk out of my life forever. 4 innocent words that I thought would make her like me more. But instead, they destroyed everything we had built over 3 months of perfect dates. And the worst part? I had no idea what I had done wrong until it was too late. If you've ever wondered why women suddenly lose interest in you despite everything seeming perfect, if you've ever felt that crushing moment when attraction dies in her eyes, then what I'm about to share will either save your dating life or haunt you forever. Because the mistake I made, 97% of men make it without even realizing it. And once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee how it's been sabotaging your relationships. But first, let me take you back to that devastating night when I learned the hard way about the #1 mistake that turns women off instantly. My name is Alex, and 6 months ago, I thought I had finally cracked the code with women. Angelina was everything I had ever wanted, intelligent, beautiful, and she actually seemed to enjoy my company. We had been on 7 perfect dates. The chemistry was electric. She laughed at my jokes, she initiated conversations, she even suggested our next meetups. I was falling hard, and for the first time in years, I thought maybe, just maybe, she was falling for me too. That Tuesday night started like any other. We were at our favorite Italian restaurant, the same place where we had our 3rd date. The candlelight was flickering across her face as she told me about her promotion at work. I was hanging on every word, mesmerized by how passionate she became when talking about things that mattered to her. Everything was perfect. Too perfect. And that's when I made the mistake that would haunt me for months to come. But to understand why those 4 words were so devastating, I need to explain something crucial about female psychology that most men never learn. Here's what I wish someone had told me years earlier. Women don't lose attraction because you're not handsome enough, or rich enough, or tall enough. They lose attraction because of something much more subtle and much more controllable. It's called validation seeking, and it's the silent killer of attraction. You see, when a woman meets you, her subconscious mind is constantly asking one question. Is this man emotionally independent, or does he need me to feel good about himself? If she senses that you need her validation, her approval, her reassurance, her positive response, to feel confident, something switches off in her brain. It doesn't matter if you're the most successful, best-dressed man in the room. That needy energy will kill attraction faster than you can say, let's just be friends. But here's the cruel irony. The more you like her, the more likely you are to seek her validation without even realizing it. And that's exactly what happened to me that night. Angelina had just finished telling me about her promotion, her eyes bright with excitement. I was so proud of her, so caught up in the moment, that I wanted to share in her joy. I wanted her to know how happy I was for her. So I leaned forward, looked into her beautiful brown eyes, and said the 4 words that would end everything. How am I doing? The change was instant. Her smile faltered for just a fraction of a second, so brief that most people would have missed it. But I saw it. The light in her eyes dimmed. Her posture shifted almost imperceptibly backward. What do you mean? She asked, but her tone had changed. The warmth was gone. You know, I continued, digging my grave deeper with every word. I just want to make sure you're having a good time, that I'm not boring you or anything. At the time, I thought I was being considerate. I thought I was showing her that I cared about her experience. But what I was actually doing was something that women find deeply unattractive. When you ask a woman, how am I doing? Or are you having fun? Or, I hope I'm not boring you. Here's what you're really communicating. 1. You need her approval to feel good about yourself. 2. You're not confident in your own value. 3. You would emotionally crumble if she gave you negative feedback. 4. You're putting the responsibility for your emotional state on her shoulders. Women have an almost supernatural ability to detect this kind of neediness. They can sense when your emotional well-being depends on their response. And when they do, their attraction shuts down like a steel trap. Why? Because from an evolutionary standpoint, women are attracted to men who can handle themselves in the world. Men who are emotionally independent. Men who don't need constant reassurance to function. If you can't handle an interaction with her without seeking validation, how will you handle her family? Her friends? Life's challenges? How will you lead and protect her if you need her to constantly reassure you that you're doing okay? This is hardwired into female psychology at the deepest level. Angelina forced a smile and said, "Of course I'm having a good time, Alex. You're sweet." Sweet. The word hit me like a dagger. I knew immediately that something had shifted, but I couldn't put my finger on what. The rest of the dinner felt different. Her responses became shorter. Her laughter felt forced. She checked her phone twice, something she had never done on our previous dates. When I walked her to her car, she gave me a brief hug and said, "Thanks for dinner. I'll talk to you soon." No kiss. No plans for the next date. Just polite distance. I texted her the next day. "Had such a great time last night. When can I see you again?" Her response came 6 hours later. "Hey Alex, I've been thinking, and I think we should just be friends. You're such a nice guy, and I don't want to ruin that." I stared at that message for 20 minutes. My hands were shaking. My chest felt tight. How had everything changed so quickly? What had I done wrong? But the real devastation was yet to come. The next 3 weeks were hell. I replayed every moment of our last date, trying to figure out what had gone wrong. I called my friends, analyzed every text message, even Googled, why did she lose interest? I was consumed by the need to understand, to fix it, to win her back. So I did what every validation-seeking man does when faced with rejection. I tried harder. I sent her thoughtful messages. I remembered details from our conversations and brought them up casually. I invited her to group hangouts, hoping to show her how fun and social I was. Every interaction was me desperately seeking some sign that she still liked me, some indication that I could win back her attraction. Here's another cruel truth about female psychology. The more you chase after losing her interest, the less attractive you become. It's like trying to grab water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. When a woman senses that you're emotionally invested in changing her mind, when she feels the weight of your need for her validation, it creates what psychologists call psychological reactance. She instinctively pulls away even further. This is why the nice guy approach fails so catastrophically. You think you're showing her how much you care, but what you're actually showing her is how much you need her approval to feel okay about yourself. 2 months after our last date, I saw Angelina at a coffee shop. She was with another guy, tall, confident, completely at ease. I watched from across the room as she laughed at something he said, the same genuine laugh she used to give me. But here's what destroyed me. I saw how he interacted with her. He wasn't seeking her validation. He wasn't asking if she was having fun. He was just present, confident. He made statements instead of asking for approval. He led conversations instead of desperately trying to keep her engaged. And she was clearly attracted to him. That's when it hit me like a freight train. I had been the architect of my own rejection. Every "how am I doing?" Every "I hope you're not bored." Every desperate attempt to win her back. It had all been the same mistake, over and over again. I was seeking her validation, and it was killing any chance I had with her or any other woman I truly desired. But this story doesn't end there. Because what happened next changed everything. Seeing Angelina with that other guy was my rock bottom, but it was also my wake-up call. I realized that I had been making the same mistake with every woman I had ever been attracted to. I started studying female psychology obsessively. I read books, watched videos, analyzed my past interactions with brutal honesty. And slowly, I began to understand the patterns. Here's what I learned. Attraction isn't logical. It's emotional. And the emotions that create attraction in women are fundamentally different from what we men think they should be. Women aren't attracted to men who try to make them happy by seeking their approval. They're attracted to men who are already happy with themselves. Men who don't need external validation to feel confident and secure. When you stop seeking validation, something magical happens in your interactions with women. Your body language relaxes naturally. Your conversations become more authentic. You stop being afraid of disagreeing with her or expressing your true opinions. You become emotionally independent, and that independence is intoxicating to women. I started practicing this new mindset in low-stakes situations. Instead of asking, "What do you think?" after expressing an opinion, I would simply state what I believed and let it stand. Instead of softening my stance when someone disagreed, I would listen respectfully but maintain my position if I truly believed it. Most importantly, I stopped asking those validation-seeking questions that had been sabotaging my interactions with women. No more "How am I doing?" No more "Are you having fun?" No more "I hope I'm not boring you." Instead, I learned to make statements. "This place has a great vibe. I like it. I'm enjoying our conversation. I find your perspective on this really interesting." The difference was subtle but profound. I was expressing myself authentically without needing her response to validate my experience. The results were almost immediate. Women started responding to me differently. Conversations flowed more naturally. They seemed more engaged, more attracted, more interested in spending time with me. But the real test came 6 months later when I met Joan. Joan was stunning, the kind of woman who usually made me nervous and desperate to impress. But this time was different. I didn't seek her validation. I didn't ask if she was enjoying herself. I didn't soften my opinions to match hers. When she disagreed with me about a movie we both had seen, I didn't immediately backtrack and say, "Yeah, you're probably right." Instead, I said, "I can see why you'd feel that way, but I still think the director's vision was brilliant." She lit up. Her eyes sparkled with interest. She leaned in closer. We've been together for 9 months now, and the dynamic is completely different from any relationship I've ever had. She respects me. She's attracted to me. And most importantly, I don't need her constant validation to feel good about myself. Here's the final lesson that changed everything for me. Women want to be with men they can look up to and respect. They want to feel safe in the knowledge that their man can handle himself in the world without needing constant reassurance. When you seek validation, you're essentially telling her that you're not that man. You're showing her that your emotional state depends on her approval, which means you can't be the rock she needs in a relationship. But when you demonstrate emotional independence, when you're confident in your own value without needing her to confirm it, you become irresistibly attractive because you're showing her the kind of man she truly wants to be with. This isn't about being arrogant or dismissive. It's about being secure in yourself and comfortable with who you are, regardless of her response. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, Alex, but how do I actually change years of validation-seeking behavior? How do I become that emotionally independent man that women find irresistible? That's exactly what I struggled with for months. Knowing what to do is one thing, but actually reprogramming your instincts and behaviors is another challenge entirely. The breakthrough came when I discovered a system that specifically addresses this problem. It's called Unlock the Scrambler, and it's the only approach I've found that combines eliminating validation-seeking behavior with cutting-edge psychological techniques. Listen, I'm going to be completely honest with you. For years, I was that guy, the one who always ended up in the friend zone despite doing everything right. I was kind, respectful, a good listener. I treated women well and genuinely cared about them. But none of that mattered because I was making the same fatal mistake that 97% of men make. I was seeking their validation, and it was killing attraction before it even had a chance to grow. If you've ever felt that crushing disappointment when a woman you really liked suddenly became distant, if you've ever wondered why you keep ending up as just friends with women who seemed interested at first, then you need to understand something. It's not your fault that no one taught you how female psychology really works, but it is your responsibility to learn it now. That's why I'm telling you about Unlock the Scrambler, the system that taught me how to finally stop being the friend zone guy without changing my personality. Here's what this system will teach you. How to stop losing women that initially liked you, because you'll finally understand how to avoid the validation-seeking behaviors that kill attraction. How to re-enter the dating scene with confidence at any age, because emotional independence is attractive whether you're 25 or 55. How to pass each and every one of women's secret tests, because you'll understand what they're really looking for in a man. Unlock the Scrambler is the only system that combines eliminating the nice guy behavior ingrained in so many men with the most cutting-edge discoveries of modern psychology. So you can gain the attraction of women, project personal power, and avoid the "let's just be friends" speech for good. Look, I could have stayed bitter about Angelina. I could have convinced myself that women just don't appreciate nice guys like me. I could have settled for women I wasn't truly attracted to, thinking that's all I deserved. But instead, I chose to learn. I chose to grow. I chose to become the kind of man that women naturally feel attracted to and respect. Today, I'm in the happiest, most fulfilling relationship of my life with Joan, and it's because I finally understood that attraction isn't about seeking validation. It's about being so secure in your own value that you don't need anyone else to confirm it for you. If you're ready to stop making the same mistake I made, if you're tired of watching the women you really want slip away, then click the link below and discover how to unlock the psychology of attraction. Your future self will thank you for taking action today. The choice is yours. Will you keep making the same validation-seeking mistakes that repel the women you truly desire? Or will you finally learn the psychology that creates genuine, lasting attraction? Click below and find out how I finally stopped being the friend zone guy, and how you can too.